Tonight, on the checkout, Jules launches a new way for consumers to bite back online. Find out which supermarket's selling whatever the hell that is, and Kirsten's guide to the products where you buy now and pay forever. Craig Rucastle, to the chemist aisle, please.
Tonight we're checking out complementary medicines, things like vitamins and supplements. But first, apparently I've got to get you emotionally engaged with a real person's story. So tonight we follow one man's quest to find the natural weight loss pill that really works. This is his story.
That's Australian Stories intro line. You can't use it.
Oh, sorry, this is a story about him.
Craig tried everything to lose weight.
I just wish there was a natural way to suppress my appetite.
Until the day he heard about a new all-natural product.
The new all-natural product claims that it can help you to suppress your appetite.
The key ingredient in Reducta is Carallumba fimbriata, which is an extract from an Indian cactus. Traditionally, people took it in times of famine to stop them from feeling hungry.
Yeah, those Indian famine victims, they're pretty thin, so I think it'll work.
And Reducta has been approved by the Therapeutic Goods Administration as a listed medicine.
Government approved is good. Celebrity approved is better.
It contains Slimaluma, naturally derived from the cactus plant and used for centuries in India.
Slimaluma. Sounds slimming, looming. Give it a try, Sonia.
So it worked for you?
No, that was all garbage.
So how did you lose the weight?
I realised I was wearing a fat suit. Just took it off. But the case of Carallumba fimbriata and Reducta and Slimaluma highlights everything that's wrong with the regulation of natural medicines in Australia.
Australians spend over $1.2 billion a year on these non-prescription vitamins, herbal remedies and natural medicines. They all have to be listed with Australia's Therapeutic Goods Administration, the TGA. What does that really mean?
The good news is, to be listed with the TGA, you can only use ingredients that are deemed low risk, so they're not likely to cause an overdose.
The third this week.
The question is not really whether vitamins or natural remedies are going to harm you, it's whether they're going to do anything at all. That's where the TGA comes in. To make a claim about a product, the TGA requires you to
certify that you hold the evidence to support each indication made relating to that medicine.
The key word there is hold. You don't actually have to show them the evidence because they're not going to read it before they list the medicine. You just got to promise to them you've got it somewhere.
Do you have evidence for this formula?
It's at home.
Good enough for me. A+.
But don't worry, because the TGA also do spot checks on the vitamin companies. Like in 2010, they found
90% of products were non-compliant.
Only 90% failed.
But I trusted you.
So in Australia, edible Indian cactus in pill form, whether Reducta or Slimaluma, went on sale because Fat Blaster and Swiss signed some forms to say that it worked, based on some evidence that was unlikely to be reviewed.
So?
Well, here's the main study here. It was conducted in India on only 50 people, and one of the testers was from GenCore Pacific. They know a lot about Slimaluma because they've got the worldwide patent for it.
Phew, I almost read that.
Now, over in Europe, their food safety regulators are a little bit weird, so they actually reviewed the evidence. Yeah, I know, they read it.
Our survey showed there was no evidence to support Slimaluma's weight loss claims.
Weird. Let's see how we do it in Australia. We wait for a member of the public, usually this guy.
I'm Dr. Ken Harvey from La Trobe University.
To complain to the TGA that the studies are dodgy.
Is that it?
And that's when the TGA leaps into action. Said leaps into action.
Fine.
And several months later...
Don't rush me. Regarding the product Fat Blaster Reductor.
They found that Ken was right. The studies didn't support the claims being made.
Do you mind? The Complaints Resolution Panel
Found it was wrong to claim the product reduced snacking, reduced portion sizes, or help consumers eat less. Well, that's that then, hey? Hey. And that's why when you walk along in your natural medicines aisle, you won't see Reductor Hunger Reduction, Slimaluma. Still available, even at your local Coles. $49? How do the starving Indians afford this rubbish? There are two reasons these products are for sale. Let's call them massive loophole 1 and even more massive loophole number 2. It's the traditional medicines exception. You can sell your herbal whatever if you say that it's been used somewhere traditionally, as long as...
Traditional indications must not imply efficacy.
So you can only sell it if you don't suggest it works. That makes sense.
Oh.
This is where Reductor got themselves into trouble, because they try to use words like scientifically researched, scientifically formulated, and scientifically studied. But then they got busted. So now the package just says, traditionally used to reduce hunger. And the great thing is, even if some scientist has shown that those generations of people were somehow misled, you can still sell it.
You mean snake oil don't work? Jeez.
And that's the main reason you can still buy this in stores. But remember, we can't suggest it works. What does hunger reduction suggest to you? To me, it suggests it might work as some kind of reducer of hunger levels. That brings us to our second loophole. The TGA is piss weak. After they delisted the product Sensor-Slim for breaching their own rules, they still allowed them to sell the rest of the product.
But take your time.
And sometimes, to avoid the TGA, products just pull themselves off the market, keep the same ingredients, and then relist it with the same ingredients but a different name.
He was here a minute ago.
Thereby avoiding the awesome powers of the TGA. Now, you may be thinking this is just about dodgy weight loss products, but the stench goes all the way to the top, to the former leader of this country, Ricky Ponting.
You can be confident Swiss Men's Ultivites work because they've had them independently tested.
And you know when Ricky says independently tested, he means that the tests were partly paid for by Swiss. And that two of the testers work at an institute funded by Swiss. And that one of those testers just happens to be the father of the CEO of Swiss. Which doesn't necessarily mean the tests were worthless, although it was conducted on a very small number of fit older men. Something that's not often mentioned in Ricky's adverts. But hey, it's not like they're claiming it's one of the only multivitamins with proven results.
One of the only multivitamins in Australia with proven results.
Oh. The system is a joke, and they don't enforce the joke of a system. That must infuriate the people that pay for it.
Oh, the TGA is 100% funded by the industry.
Oh. Well, if you can't beat them, join them. I know something that's low potency and ineffective. Maybe I could sell that.
Can I speak to the boss?
Of course I'm not there. All the big bosses are gone at the moment, so I'm just trying to think who would be a good person to speak to.
Have they gone to India to look for a new cactus?
No, they haven't, unfortunately.
You guys gonna help us? We want to sell this new product with you guys, the TGA. For years, people have traditionally used the TGA in Australia and think it's effective. Is that enough to get it on the market?
I think you're in the wrong place.
If you can sell Reductor, you can sell this stuff.
No, thanks.
We'll just say it's scientifically scienced. Or scientifically looked at, or it once walked past the scientist.
Not for us.
Can I become a brand ambassador if we get this up? I'm better than Shane Watson. Try TGA. Effective.
Everybody, well, don't you know it's me now? Yeah, who's it? Who's it? Well, he's back with a brand new beat now. Yeah, doing it. Hey, 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 yeah. Try to buy my style. Hey, 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 yeah.
I'm Katrina Lowe, co-CEO of the Consumer Action Law Centre. If I could say one thing, it would be, if your home and contents insurance doesn't give you total replacement cover, get a different policy. Most Australian home insurance puts the onus on you, the consumer, to work out how much cover you need and nominate a maximum payout figure. They're called sum insured policies. So, if you get $100,000 worth of policy, but then the cost you need to claim is $120,000, you're $20,000 short. There's a better type of cover. It's called a total replacement policy, and it means the insurer agrees to pay what it actually costs you to replace your home or contents. Why does this matter? 2 reasons. Research shows consumers find it very difficult to accurately estimate the cost of replacing their home or contents. And where there are widespread losses, think natural disasters, the cost of replacing things goes up. With a sum insured policy, you bear the risk of shortfall. Under total replacement, the insurer does. It's a no-brainer. Switch to total replacement today.
Dear Nestle, as the devoted owner of a cat with chronic fur balls, Ralph, I was delighted recently to buy your Purina Supercoat cat biscuits furball with salmon flavour, specially formulated to prevent fur balls. Sadly, after eating furball with salmon flavour, Ralph is still Ralphing. Disappointed but not discouraged, I bought another Supercoat flavour, kitten with chicken and rice. Opening the pack, I couldn't help thinking that kitten with chicken and rice biscuits looked suspiciously identical to furball with salmon flavour. Investigating further, that may be because the ingredients in furball with salmon flavour are exactly the same as kitten with chicken and rice. Oh, except for one thing, furball with salmon flavour contains no fish, whereas kitten with chicken and rice contains both fish and fish byproducts. It doesn't, however, contain any rice. Indeed, while the entire Supercoat range has colourful names and claims like indoor with real chicken, specially formulated for less active indoor cats, the ingredients are all strikingly similar, sometimes exactly the same. It's almost as though you shove handfuls of miscellaneous biscuits indiscriminately into boxes and send them off to a poet with a label maker. You could perhaps save some money by slapping every box with a sticker that simply says crunchy. But if you do persist with these nutritionally imaginative names, please sleep on them. Furball with salmon flavour rather suggests that the biscuits taste like furball, which is a bit wrong. Although not as wrong as kitten with chicken and rice or senior with real tuna, which I found particularly threatening. Yours, Angela, 68.
YouTube. It's changed our viewing habits profoundly. It might even be the reason you're not watching TV right now. Their motto, broadcast yourself, sums up how YouTube gives everyone a chance to make video for potentially huge audiences. Self-broadcasting can be harmless fun.
Charlie bit me.
But it also gives disgruntled consumers a chance to bite back.
Charlie!
And biting back can be very satisfying. The king of YouTube bite back is this guy. Dave's a Canadian musician. A while back, he took a flight on United Airlines with his $3,500 Taylor guitar, which they broke. Dave asked United to compensate him the usual way.
For 9 months, phone calls, emails, no one seemed to be able or interested to do anything.
When none of that worked, he put a song on YouTube.
United.
And that, well, that
changed
things.
You broke my Taylor guitar.
On the first day,
it got 50,000 views.
And within a week,
2 million views.
Some big hill.
He even got 2 new guitars.
You broke it, you should.
But not from United.
I'll just admit it. I should have flown with someone else or gone by car.
I still get flown around the world to share this story, sometimes even with United.
As United breaks guitars.
By now, it's up to
over 12 million views.
And of course, the song made United change its tune.
On the same day that it hit 1 million views, United offered me some cash and vouchers. I asked them to donate it to charity.
What a guy. Though Dave did pretty well out of it. As well as a #1 iTunes song, he's also written a book
about the power of one voice in the age of social media.
He's even started a business
to help consumers solve their gripes online.
And do United still break guitars?
They haven't broken any more of mine, but they did lose my luggage once. 'Cause United breaks guitars.
Now, not everyone's going to get results like Dave. His story is a 1 in a million.
12 million, actually.
Even so, social media can be a game changer, which is why we're launching an experiment called FYouTube. If you're an unhappy customer with a legitimate gripe, tell us and the world about it by making a video and upload it to this address. Your video doesn't have to be anything fancy. It doesn't have to be a song. You don't need high-tech gimmicks. Just tell us about your bad consumer experience using any old camera, whether it's a computer or on a phone. Hopefully posting your complaint on FYouTube might help solve your problem. And we'll use some of them on the checkout too. United Breaks Guitars proves that you don't need to be nasty or unreasonable. Biting back can be fun. FYouTube has one simple rule.
No dickheads.
So if you're an unhappy customer, don't say FU, say FYouTube.
As a guilty mum, I only want the best for my baby. That's why when nature calls, I've got the perfect wipe for every occasion. This poo explosion's not very shea butter. I think cucumber and aloe. I know most maternity nurses say cotton wool and water clean baby just as well, so I bought these. They clean just like that. And of course, I only ever wipe in the safest changing environment. Because you can't put a price on reassurance and peace of mind. Plus, it's Scandinavian. It just seems safer. And as a guilty mum, I don't want my baby to feel the slightest chill, which is why I always put my baby wipes in the baby wipe warmer first. And I don't want global warming wipes, which is why I'm happy to pay twice as much for these eco-friendly bamboo ones. And I'd never use any of them for hands or faces. That's what these sticky fingers, hands and face wipes are for. Basically the same ingredients, but you can't be too careful. Which is why when baby's bottom is finally clean, I like to use hand sanitizer. Science says it's almost as effective as soap and water. And if soap didn't come in potentially germ-packed soap pumps, I wouldn't need hands-free soap dispensers to protect my family. Now if only I could find something to clean away my mummy guilt.
You can get this one here for $10 a month on a 24-month contract. It comes with 4 loaves of multigrain toast or 2 loaves of fruit toast, the thick cut type. And it's great for crumpets, although if you exceed your monthly crumpet allowance, it's 30 cents a crumpet or $1.20 a crumpet during peak breakfast periods. But don't worry about that. Have a look at that. It's great, isn't it? You are locked to us as your bread provider. And if you cancel the contract, there is a cancellation fee of half the remaining toastable items. Don't worry about that. Let's get you signed up, hey? You want to sign here? Sign here, here and here, and make sure you sign that bit so we can say you saw it, hey? You're going to love this toaster.
Typical voter toast.
My name is Ahmed Masood and I'm the founder and director of Consumer Rights and Services Organization in Afghanistan. There are a number of products which are imported from Pakistan and they are marked for export to Afghanistan only or not for sale in Pakistan. And the opinion which is widely accepted by Afghans is that these products are of low quality and that's why we are trying to improve the quality of products which are imported in Afghanistan. And there are a number of baby formula which are produced by Nestle Pakistan which are marked with these messages. And there are a number of medicines which are produced by, for example, Merck Pakistan, which is a multinational pharmaceutical company, and GlaxoSmithKline. They also mark certain products with these messages. Every Afghan, from children to women and men, has the right to have access to high quality goods and products.
So, you've bought a new Mazda and you don't have a care in the world.
Talking to camera while driving, it's a $300 fine.
So, you've bought a new Mazda and apart from one care in the world, you're all about the
mysterious Mazda Zoom Zoom. Mazda says that to keep the Zoom Zoom factor at its peak, they've got to service your car not once, but twice a year for 3 years. Which makes your money zoom zoom. And that's before you factor in the cost of genuine Mazda parts.
Yeah, they've got built-in Zoom Zoom. Thanks.
Now, Mazda says that if you don't follow their servicing guidelines, you may void your new vehicle warranty. And yet, curiously, in the UK, the exact same vehicle only needs to be serviced once a year. Now, to be fair, Mazda's not the only company doing this sort of thing. Subaru, Mitsubishi, Toyota and Honda all do similar things in varying degrees. But for some reason, Mazda's the one I really want to in on. Mazda want to keep the purchase price of their vehicles as low as possible and make as much money as they can once you've bought one.
It's kind of like the razor and blades business model.
While razors like the Gillette Fusion are relatively cheap, using them costs a Fusion bomb. It's enough to make your paid spokesman scream. You know it's physically impossible to suck money out of me with that thing, right?
These graphics.
But it's not just razors and blades that use the razor and blades business model.
That $200 Nespresso machine is actually $250 a year in patented Nespresso coffee pods. That's just based on having one coffee a day. And buy an automatic soap dispenser and you're automatically locked in to buying their expensive refills. Automatic insect sprays also come with expensive refills, and the recommended settings spray much more than you ordinarily would, ensuring you rack up as many of these as possible. Need brush heads.
To keep this family of 4 smiling, that's over $200 a year.
But for mine, the most extreme example of a product with a built-in money tap would have to be printers. You can buy a home printer for as little as $29 these days, but then there's the ink, with some brands costing up to $3,000 per litre. Printer ink is more expensive than perfume.
Magenta by Britney Spears.
In fact, printer ink is one of the most expensive liquids in the world.
And some companies even build microchips into their products to try to lock you in to buying their brand of ink. It's a license to print money.
Which is exactly how we decided to test these printers. The ink cartridges for these printers all cost about the same or more than the printers themselves. But when we set them to counterfeit standard, it wasn't long before the print quality was criminally low. The worst was this one. The $50 cartridge for this $49 printer was only good for 43 counterfeit quality colour pages.
which explains why you never see HB DeskJet 2510s at the Comancheros clubhouse. Arguably, counterfeiting money isn't the best, almost legal way to test printers. Choice did their own test, and they found some printers costing as much as $2.47 per full colour page, which is a fair slice given a full colour page at Officeworks costs 88 cents. So, when you're buying a product that seems cheap, don't just think about the price tag. The real price might be in the running costs. And they say, we're the criminals. And some scissors, please.
And if anyone would like to buy a second-hand Nespresso machine, electric toothbrush, automatic soap dispenser or insect sprayer, 4-colour printers or a Mazda 3 with very low mileage, please contact us at the checkout. After that report, we clearly can't afford to keep them. By the way, what Kirsten said about Mazda and its servicing requirements, that got me thinking. The Australian Consumer Law says it's not legal to make a misleading representation about the need for any services. It's also illegal to make a misleading claim about the existence of a condition or the effect of a warranty. Could it be that Mazda is misleading its Australian customers into thinking that they've got to get their cars serviced twice a year by Mazda? Well, we decided to ask them. You'll be very glad to know that Mazda got back to us, and in very simple, clear language, they told us no, it's not misleading. And you know what? They might be right. For example, if you think that saying in the prominent importance of servicing bit of your website, quote, don't risk your warranty, make a Mazda dealer your only choice for your service, and then saying in the top 10 FAQ section, your vehicle must be serviced every 6 months and that not following that requirement may void your new vehicle warranty, if you think that's not misleading because there's a hyperlink to a 1,291-word lawyer's picnic of a warranty document that after 1,192 words lists your rights under the Australian Consumer Law, or because if you dig deep enough into the FAQ there's a queue that's probably not even effing asked that much and it begrudgingly admits that no, you don't have to have your Mazda serviced by an authorised bloody zoomologist or whatever the hell they call them in one sentence, followed by 16 lines suggesting you probably should do it anyway. If you think that cuts it, well then you agree with Mazda. But if you think that that sounds like a load of deliberately confusing, self-serving bollocks which more or less epitomises the ordinary meaning of the word misleading, well, you might think, like I do, that the Mazda website breaches the Australian Consumer Law, or at the very least that it unethically gives you the wrong impression in the hope of making more money out of you. There's two sides to every story. You be the judge.